Are you suffering from apexitis? Do you often miss the podium when you know you could be on it? Are you not reaching your full potential as a driver? Ask your doctor if Prestruction is right for you. Side effects may include, but are not limited to, winning more races, faster lap times, better car control, better racecraft, finishing on the podium. For faster lap times, ask your doctor today about Prestruction.
Well, hello and welcome to round number 4 of the National Capital Chapter BMW Car Club of America from over the pond in the UK, Kent, UK, is Brands Hatch circuit. We've run this several times in the previous seasons, so we're here one more time, this time in the BMW GT3s. Pretty sure everybody running the GT3, but we'll see. Maybe there'll be somebody out there running the Z4. Guaranteed interview car if you're driving that one. Currently about a minute and a half left in qualifying. Steve Ficacci, provisional pole. I see Darren Treakle getting into the session late. He is going to be racing in the SCCA runoffs this week, so I wasn't sure if he was actually going to make this race, but good on him for making it at the last moment. Just saying hello to everybody out there. Peter Lanik going quick in P2 at the moment. Andrew Stutzman had a strong run last week. Dean Tulane was also had a strong run. Let's see here. Everybody in the pit lane looking like they're about done. Looks like we got the Ghostbusters car out here and Scott Kim. Let me add the information about who we're looking at here. One driver we will be missing this week again is Chris Hill. He's also, I believe, running in the SCCA runoffs. Might be mistaken. And of course, that is our sponsor in Precision Racing Instruction, PRI. We'll go through them when we get a chance. Also have a special in regards to Beltway Brewing Company coming up. Gonna get this limited time kind of thing. I'll mention that in a moment as we're about to come to the end of qualifying. Hot laps will count. Ficacci currently at the top of the board. Darren Treakle. Darren's quick here, but again, not as much preparation this week for him as some of our other weeks with him. Basically, every week we talk to Darren, and we'll go through the track once we get to racing as well. We've have some really cool track names of this particular track, and it looks like we got about 2 minutes they're going to give us in qualifying. We'll be able to see what Darren can do, but let's see if we can bring up. So, a special, you might have noticed the days are starting to get shorter, and, it's starting to get a little bit of colder weather, and Beltway Brewing Company has a special available in the tap room. It is Oktoberfest, and they have a Fest Marzenlager. Let me say Fest is the name, Marzenlager. It's available in the tap room on draft, and it is also available. You can buy it in the cans as well if you want to take that home with you to consume at your own pleasure. So that is available at Beltway Brewing Company. And if you don't know that already, Beltway Brewing Companies, they're located in Sterling, Virginia, proudly represent the DMV, and they have all kinds of things available in the tap room: IPAs, lagers, sour stouts, even seltzers. Of course, as I just mentioned, this Fest Marzenlager, limited availability. It's Oktoberfest, everything's limited availability that comes out in October, and you got to get that and stockpile it all you can. But that's Beltway Brewing Company as we're about to finish qualifying. Darren's getting not quite up there. He got up to 4th position. Anybody else still out there? Do see, who was that? Is that Dean or is that Peter? That is Peter. Provisionally P2. Getting that last bit of, he turns it, no harm, no foul. All right. We will be setting up for a 40-minute race here tonight in the daylight here. I think this will be a short pace lap. We can bring up other sponsors. Let's go ahead while we're gridding. Let's quickly play that Precision Racing Instruction commercial one more time from Chris Hill.
Are you suffering from apexitis? Do you often miss the podium when you know you could be on it? Are you not reaching your full potential as a driver? Ask your doctor if construction is right for you. Side effects may include, but are not limited to, winning more races, faster lap times, better car control, better racecraft, finishing on the podium. For faster lap times, ask your doctor today about construction.
So, oddly enough, we went through the grid there, and showing Darren in that it says he was in 17th, but starting position, but he is starting 4th here. As we're pace car ducks in, Porsche pace car, Bikachi's going to get us going. Peter Lanik on the outside into turn 1. Paddock Hill Bend. And they head into the Druids hairpin here. So far, so good. Everybody cleanly through here. "40-minute race here. There was some discussion last week about, and we have Jesse Brannon around back here. There was some discussion last week of whether we were going to run the shorter layout here, called the Brands Hatch Indy course. They didn't take my bait, and they're not running that one. Heck of a qualifying run by Peter Lanik there. And I think Steve Ficacci's probably, he said that his background, at least in the sim world, was in the Skip Barber car quite a bit. And I think the Skip Barber car runs quite often at this track. It seems like a perfect kind of track that a Skip Barber, like a Formula Ford car, would drive. Stutzman right on the bumper of Lanik. Darren right there. So we do have some drop weeks available to the drivers, but Darren making the start here, that puts him in good shape, because even if this was a drop week for him, it's going to be a 4th position. So, you know, like if he maintains in the next 37 minutes where he's at. Looking at Yakov, be like Scott Kim there in the Ghostbusters car this week. Not seeing anybody running that Z4 like we mentioned. That is too bad. Let's go on board with Lanik here from that P2 position. So let's have him take us around for a lap here. This is coming up to the start and finish. Turn 1 will be the Paddock Hill Bend. Downhill, Haleswood Hill into the Druids hairpin, followed by Graham Hill Straight, and the Graham Hill Bend. This is a left-hander. Into Surtees, left-hander, kind of a fast left-hander. You can see Andrew Stutzman right in the mirror, or it's not actually the mirror, but the backup camera kind of deal here, into Hawthorne. And the Westfield corner here. I believe that is Druid Dell Straight. Sterling's corner. Heading up to, I believe it is Clark Curve. Akachi has this thing under control. Really difficult to pass here with all of these bends, these corners, but it can be done. And I think the best place to do it, looking at Stutzman right there, is into the Druids hairpin here. He's looking. And, oh, I thought he might dive. That's Stencelier out here, Beltway Brewing Company. Maybe, if Sten can have a really good run, he'll be able to tell us about the beer all on his own. No pressure, Sten. Brian Kennedy coming off a 10th position. He's not used to the ovals, but we ran the oval, the single oval of the year we run in the Formula Indy Series we ran Auto Club this season, and he finished 10th, so a good finish to Brian there. Got a train of cars here. Aspen Belvin, P7. Dean Tulane in that SEO Mike car. See if we can get a closer angle here. Speed cam, SEO Mike. That is Colin Kortanek ahead of him. So SEO Mike, let me bring up our information about them. Right there, SEO Mike, so they specialize in organic search engine optimization. They've been doing it since 1997, and over that last 24 years, they've worked with over 4,000 websites in a wide variety of industries, and they help them achieve strong search engine ranking. And that's led to growth in traffic, sales, and revenue. So good on them. Of course, we've talked about Beltway Brew Co. earlier in the night. And we'll set this up for later in Hagerty and Treakle Insurance. Darren here just biding his time in the 4th position, right off of the podium. Anybody watching out there tonight can let me know who they're supporting as a driver, and we can get them some coverage. Stutzman thinking about it into Hawthorne Hill. These drivers have to do a good job getting on the brakes and making sure they are not running into their competitors. who's side by side. Stutzman's going to take over that third position, but Lanik tries the... Oh, he gets it back. Heck of a move by Lanik. He might want to defend that position. Let's go on board with Treakle back here, getting a good watch of this battle here. Lanik kicking up some dust there. Oh, he gets the rear brake lockup by Darren here. That puts him out in the kitty litter. He's okay. Safely trying to return to the circuit. That's going to put Darren back into the 12th position. Still side by side we go. This battle for the for the second position. I just have a feeling, I'm a little nervous here, that Lanik and Stutzman might collect one another here, but we'll see. Cortanic and Belvin just lurking back there, waiting for something to happen. Kennedy going a little wide there. Let's see Belvin here. We were talking about his livery last week. He ran the Intimidator livery last week. Not running it anymore, or sorry, not last week, but last season. Not running it anymore. Still kind of keeping to the black theme. Ghostbusters car in Scott Kim. Perry Duncan back here. I think Perry said, and I talked to Perry about this, I think he kind of tries to run like a wood theme on his car. That's Darren. He had that spin. Stutzman has got around Lanik. Let's see if we can get a replay at if that just happened or not. Let's see what we've got here. Okay, side by side they were going into, I think that's the final curve. Stutzman got around, so that was the replay heading back to live pictures. Lanik wants to get around, retake that position. Meanwhile, Steve Ficacci up at the front, 3 seconds up. That is, Cortanic is caught up to this battle here for the podium position. Now, Cortanic and Lanik are teammates, as far as I understand. There's not exactly teams here, but they're kind of in a group driving situation. They might run some endurance races together. So they have mutual respect for one another, is how I could say it. So they'll cleanly battle one another, most likely. Nobody using the pits yet. A lot of the times we do have some first lap incidents. None of them tonight. Got a solid field of 17 cars. Really good battle here. As soon as Darren lost out on this battle, we had Cortanic coming into it. Let's go on board. Let's see, one of our different cameras here. Going on board from the left front. It might be better to do the right front. There we go. Really good camera angle. Putting a tire on the curb. All the tires on those curbs, though. Over the rumble strips. Take us around, Colin. Get a look back to Aspen Belvin back there. These are kind of camera angles that you will not get on the real life because we can control these all over the car. Focacci, the best lap is actually pretty close between Focacci to Stutzman to Lanik. And a lot of the cars, so in a really high downforce car, like the Indy car, I mentioned previously in some interviews that CART, back in about 2002 or 2003, they ran a race here. They called it like the London Grand Prix or something like that, even though they were not that close to London. This is in Kent. They still called it that. They ran the Brands Hatch Indy circuit, but the aero wash on the front wing of those cars, just how the corners are built here, makes it really difficult to pass because you don't have as much air on the front of your car. I think Perry might have had an issue there. I'm seeing he dropped back some time. Donald Manning back here. He's at the rear of the field. Look at him. Jesse Brandon had an off on the first lap. He's trying to recover now, though. Gonna catch Peter Yerxa in some manner of laps. Robert Benson, P14. Robert's been in like... So we're coming up in about, well, like 2 weeks or so. Well, whenever October comes around, that was going to be a year since Raceverse began coverage of the NCC BMW. And so we've done, I feel like we've done more races with this league than anything else. I haven't actually ever looked at that statistic, but I think that's a true statement. So running, you know, I bet we've done 40 broadcasts for this league in that time. And Robert's been in a lot of them. A lot of these drivers have been in a lot of them. I think we're missing Matthew Stover this week as Perry Duncan hitting the pit lane. He's going to be the first to do it. The pit strategy here they're running this season makes them possibly have to do a little bit of fuel save to make it on one stop in 40 minutes. Usually these cars would easily be able to run the entire race without pitting, but to add an interesting element, the league organizers made it a rule that they have only a certain percentage of fuel. I think it's like, let's say 40% fuel. I think that's what it is, and they have to deal with that. And they have they don't take new tires because tires are really long change, but they'll take some new fuel. Last lap for Steve Focacci. He might have gotten a little bit bored up here by himself because he actually dropped back a little bit there. Aspen Belvin is catching this group. So we basically have a four-way battle, and Brian Kennedy might catch up to this group as well. Four-way battle for that podium position. Darren Treakle running in that P11 position. Colin Kortanek looking inside of at least putting his car there. Oh, he's going to dive. Think about going inside. He thinks better of it, though. Sometimes you do that tactic to try to make the driver ahead of you force them into an error. Ooh, they're all going in the pits this lap. Even Kennedy, Dean Tulane as well. Fikachi stays out. I'm sure he'll be able to make it all the way around. Might have been an idea to do the overcut here and see if you could make up some time, but that group of drivers are just parked on pit lane. Oh boy. Can't go side by side. In fact, they're inside of each other. This is kind of a funny thing that iRacing does. You can actually drive around the track. You know, there's no collision in the pit lane, and they don't suddenly turn it on if you're, oh, there's some contact there. If you are still inside of each other once you drive on the track, there's still no collision of cars there. Uh-oh. Okay, Stutzman did blink there. So Bielik stays out. He was in about 10th position. Darren Treakle is in P11. Or was in P11. He's up to P3 now. So I would expect Fikachi. Fikachi's going to stay out one more lap. Had a couple more cars coming out of the pit lane. Okay, it's Benson and Manning. And these cars here, this is the true battle for that second position. And I think Lanik gave a little bit of the chrome horn here to Stutzman, but he backed off a little bit there. Kennedy's gained a little bit of ground in this feud as well, as did Dean Tulane. Oh, side by side we go. Lanik and Stutzman. Looks like Treacle and Bielik have hit the pit lane as well. Everybody has pit other than... Oh boy. Lanik gets that second position over Stutzman. Stutzman's struggling since this pit stop here. All right, our leader is on the pit lane. See if Stutzman gets this back together. Stancelier running in 8th. Heck of a battle here. Okay, we've got, sorry here, we've got an issue here. Let's see. With Fikachi. What happened? Something happened. He has taken tires, I believe, or something. Something happened. He might have had a speeding penalty. That is going to put Lanik into the lead here. What the heck? Let's see. I'm just seeing a long pit. for Focacci. I don't have any other information other than that. I think the timing of it tells me that it is a speeding penalty for Focacci. So it's going to be kind of an even trade between Darren Treakle. But we have a great battle for the lead brewing here. I was like, why is Brian suddenly in 5th? I'm like, where is our leader? And we have Peter Lanik in the lead with Stutzman thinking about going for it. We had some wild stuff happen in October of last year. And I believe Peter won a race during the Oktoberfest season. Miracles can come true. I will say that the iRacing speeding penalties are a little harsh. 40 seconds to just sit there is a little harsh. In fact, when you go read the race notes in the session events after the race, it actually will tell you it's like 15 seconds, but it's not, it's 40 seconds. We start to spread out just slightly here. And Belvin has lost that group. He had a mistake at some point in time. Kennedy has Dean Tulane right there. Stan running in 7th position. As we have just on about 15 minutes left to go in this one. Let's get one of our ad promotions here. One of our sponsors makes these things happen. Treakle Insurance, Hagerty Insurance. So Treakle Insurance is an independent insurance agency offering auto, home, business, and life insurance. And they've teamed up with Hagerty Insurance, also on the screen rotating there, to provide collector car coverage as well as race car and track day coverage. And you can visit their website, treakleinsurance.com. That's Treakle Insurance. That was on the screen. It's there it is, treakleinsurance.com. Auto, home, business, life. That is one of our sponsors here this season. Best several seasons, in fact. You probably, if you've tuned in before, heard it a bunch. And we can thank Darren here. Running in the 10th position right now for that. Oh, we've got Aspen Belvin having an issue back here. That allows Kennedy and Tulane to get around him. Three-way battle for the lead here at the podium. Kortanek has gotten around Stutzman. And again, I mentioned that gas burn teammates here, but I think for the win, they're no longer going to be teammates whatsoever. They'll race each other fair. Everybody does that in this series. Go on board with Lanik here. He's going to be looking in his rearview mirror there, watching Colin. So we're estimating, we had a 40-minute race. We're estimating at 28, 29 laps. Go on board. We have in-car cameras of everybody out here tonight. Kortanek thing. Oh boy, there was a little bit of contact there. A little bit of that chrome horn action. I'm gonna have to ask. Well, assuming they both survive and get to the podium interview, I'm gonna be asking them about that one. Stutzman using a lot of curb that time. Oh, using a lot of grass too on the exit. I believe that was Sterling exit. Kortanek dropping back just slightly there. It's going to give an opening to Stutzman here to make a move into Hawthorne. Side by side, it is tough to pull off a move into Hawthorne. Oh, a little bit of contact there. They both keep going straight, though. Side by side through the Druids. Best passing point on the track, in my opinion. Kortanek tries to do the over-under here. Oh, boy. Nearly contact multiple times through that. That's giving Lanik. Lanik has a smile on his face up here in first position as those guys duke it out for that second position. Uh-oh, they've got a slow car ahead of them. Well, no wait, that is not a slow car. That is the leader, but there was another car ahead of the leader, it looked like. Yeah, there's, let's see, yeah, he's blinking his lights. Is that Benson, or is it Tenny? It's, Yurksa, okay. Actually, it wasn't, I don't think. Okay, they're heading into, okay, they're just gonna pull off to the side. Oh, it's Manning, okay. Good on him. Stutzman, it is difficult to battle somebody. He's got a few occasional internet blinks there that I can see. You can see him disappearing off the track, that number 33 car. That is Stutzman. That allows Kortanek to maintain that second position. And Kortanek, oh boy, Stutzman still thinking inside. If Kortanek can break off Stutzman's charge here, he needs to set his sights on Lanik up there for that first position. I see Fikachi making it back to that 8th position here. Just about under 9 minutes to go. Uh-oh, that is Treakle. He's got an issue. He's crabbing a little bit, it looks like. He must have got into the barriers once he's heading into the pits. Let's see if we can get a replay of that. What happened here? This isn't your usual Darren out here, as we said. I think, okay, he's already damaged even here. Let's see if we can... Not fun to be driving that car. This happened early in the lap, yeah. Oh, no, it happened. Did it happen in the Druids? Or it happened at Hawthorne? Oh, it happened already. What the heck? Oh, okay, whoa, that's not where we wanted. Okay, we'll try this again. It had it and then it went wild on me. I apologize for that. There it was. Oh, he had Bielik spin right in front of him. Bielik dropped a tire, it looks like. Oh, yeah, right into that. That is tough. Oh, and he tries to get it, but that sends Darren heavy into the tire barrier there. And because Darren was just after the exit of the pits, he had to drive that car all around, damaged as it was. So back to the live pictures, Colin Kortanek in the lead, or sorry, Peter Lanik in the lead, Colin Kortanek in second. Stutzman in third, Brian Kennedy a few seconds back, about 4 seconds back in fourth, Dean Tulane in fifth. Aspen Belvin in the sixth position. I see some slight damage on Sten here on the front, on the nose of that car, on the front bumper. Gonna be hurting some of his straight line speed. Maybe even some of his grip in the corners. Battle for the lead. See, we saw with Bielik that you could just easily drop a tire at that exit of that final corner. All right, we're estimating 5 laps to go here. Looking back from Kortanek, that is Stutzman back there. Looking forward is Lanik. They're both using quite a bit of that curb. So this is the NCC BMW Car Club of America, and anytime you can join this league. You don't have to be part of the BMW Car Club. You just have to be a lover of the BMW and GT sports car racing. They run tracks all around the world, a lot in the U.S., mostly in the U.S., with some excursions across to Europe and Japan. Tulane is right on Brian. Scott Kim pitting here. Think he might have had damage or something. Uh-oh. We have a pass for the lead here. Kortanek got around Lanik. I think there was a mistake there by Lanik. Let's see if we can get a replay of what happened. Okay, I think they're having to do a second pit stop is what happened. Oh boy. That was something there, that pit entry. Definite chrome horn there. So everybody's coming in. This is the first race we've had to do 2 pit stops on, but let's see if we can find where did this pass happen. Oh, a little bit. Lanik got into the grass, and Kortanek saw the opening. Heading back to live pictures. Kortanek comes out. He goes a little wide. That puts Lanik back into the lead. And we've got Kennedy in P3 somehow, some way. Pikachu's fought to get back into that 5th spot. We'll see. He's only pit once. Side by side he goes. Gets around 2 lane here. Keeping an eye on this battle for the lead. So we had Cortanic lead for a lap there. Lanik back in to the lead here. Kennedy P3. Pikachu. We're looking about 2 or 3 laps to go here. I see the ticker says it's 3 laps to go, but it's just going to depend on when we crossed our finish line and all of that. Yeah, so I think that is white flag, as you could see. They were just slightly too early or too late for, oh boy, Lanik going wide in turn 1. That gives Cortanic the lead. Kennedy trying to maintain it. This could be Cortanic's first victory. Just has to do a few more corners, not make any mistakes. Oh boy, this is where the butterflies are going to be coming in for Cortanic. Kennedy back there trying to keep Fikashi off of him. Go on board with Lanik to see if he can make a final lunge here. We have lap traffic ahead of him. It's going to be a side-by-side Cortanic defends, and that is going to be Cortanic taking the victory here. Lanik P3 or P2. I think that Fikachi might have been running out of fuel there at the end. Scott Kim is going to finish 7th. See, we might interview Scott again here. We did it last week, but he had another good run here. Dean also had a really good run. I know that Scott's out here trying to be the headhunter here and try to find where he can cause the most damage. Here we go. Oh, and it didn't quite work. He's gonna have to try to get another try at this here. There we go. Brian showed him how to do it, as well as Dean there. All right, well, we will be right back. We'll sort out this mess here and be back with our interviews. All right, we should be back. Let's see here. Calling Cortanic. Hey, Colin, this is Matt in the booth. Got a copy?
Hey Matt, how you doing, buddy?
Well, I'm doing pretty good, but how about you?
That was awesome, man. That was probably the most intense race I've had in a long time. That was a blast. Pete was driving well, Aaron was driving well. We were just changing positions and got a little bit lucky, right? So that was whew.
Well, tell me,
exciting.
is this, I'm trying to think back, is this your first win in the series here since we broadcast them
It's,
anyway?
I think my third podium, but I think my first win. So
Yeah,
yes.
I was trying to remember. Between you and Peter, I was like, I'm pretty sure Peter's won a race too, like maybe a year ago, but
I think so.
like in the Oktoberfest season is what I'm thinking. We're about to come up to a year on that, but man, that was a heck of a race, and it wasn't easy. Peter had control for a really long time.
He did.
He made a slight bobble. I saw he got into the grass just a little bit, and you pounced on it. But then he got back around you, I think, somewhere in there.
On the pit exit, I just didn't give it enough brake and pushed off on down the hill on turn one. And so he got ahead of me. And then I think on the next lap or the second lap after that, he just didn't have a great entry into turn one and went a little bit wide. And I was able to get on the gas a little bit sooner and that was just a flip-flop race, but that was awesome. I really enjoyed it.
One of the other elements to this one is I think this is the first race where we've had to pit twice in the same race.
Yes.
It was kind of odd. Like I saw somebody do it, and I was like...
Last week you saw us all saving our fuel and coasting across the finish line. I just didn't think, I started... This track is so fast and you're constantly on it, right? You don't really have time to start doing calculations, and I didn't think there would be enough to try to coast. And then I saw everybody else was just racing. I said, you know what, the racing's too good. If we have to pit and nobody else does, who cares? Because the racing was just that much fun.
That's right. I think one of the other things is maybe all of the elevation change could make you get kind of bad fuel mileage here. Maybe that's also an element too. Man, what an awesome race. I
wasn't even going to race
before,
tonight.
But this is... Well, go ahead, sorry.
Oh no, I wasn't feeling too great. I didn't practice yesterday, and just kind of just said, all right, give it a shot in quali, see what I could do. Quali looked good, so I said, you know what, just go for it. Like, I love this track, and I love racing with these guys. I had to do it, so I'll take it.
Well, it's a good thing that I don't know if you watched the broadcast last week, but I was asking Steve. I said, "Hey, do you guys want to run the Brands Hatch Indy course? Do you know that one?"
Is that the really short one?
Yeah, it would have been pretty awful. But it's something that everybody should try once. But I'm glad we didn't do it this week.
No, this layout is just so good for these cars. Like, what a fun race! Like, I'm still just kind of. Literally just got out of the cockpit a few moments ago, so I'm just still kind of just reeling from the race. But that was, I don't think we've had that close racing for the entire race. Of course, Kachi and Darren and Chris Hill, right? They do that every week. But, for us B+ guys, this was an experience. So I'm going to enjoy this one for a while.
Well, great victory. Hey, I want to give any shout outs to family, friends, sponsors, that kind of thing?
Oh, yeah. I mean, just got to give a shout out to my Gasburn team representing. Good teamwork. I know they always finish strong. Thanks, Sten, as always, for his amazing beer. And all the sponsors with Darren and Chris Hill and SEO Mike, and Scott for being the admin and just, making this such a blast every week.
Yeah, sounds good. Well, next week we're going to be at Watkins Glen. A very familiar track, I have to imagine. Any thoughts going there?
Yeah, I mean, I drove it for the first time this year in real life and loved it so much I went back a month later. So I think half my track days this year have been all at Watkins. Love the track. It's going to be another fun race with all these guys. I can't wait.
Well, we'll have to also see what layout Scott decides to run for that, because I've had leagues like usually everybody runs like the boot version, right?
Right.
There is then the NASCAR version, which, you know, like you hate it because, or at least I do anyway, because it's NASCAR, but it actually does put on a little bit different race. But
for sure.
I'd certainly recommend
we've done
doing
that either in a practice or, you know, just screwing around, you know, getting the group together to, you know, do a race on a Sunday night. I think we've done the NASCAR version, and, you know, that's got its own challenges, like you said, and it's still a hell of a lot of fun.
It makes it very even is what I kind of want to feel it like, because it's so simple at that point. It's tough in a NASCAR, I can tell you that, but in these cars it would be, you know, kind of easy. But again, any race is hard when you've got another group of drivers with other drivers to race on the same track. So
absolutely.
A great victory here tonight.
Thanks, Matt.
We'll see you next week.
Yeah, I'm gonna go crack myself open an HOV from Beltway Brewing and enjoy this victory. It's sweet.
You take care.
All right. Thanks so much, Matt.
Yep. Hey, Peter, this is Matt in the booth. Got a copy?
Hey, Matt. Yep, I hear you.
Well, you ended up P2. Are you a little gutted for that, or how are you feeling about it?
You know, I am, but I am glad that it was Colin that got the first. I was looking in the rearview mirror, just ended up going in a little hot, and he just got a better exit. Tried getting him back, but I didn't want to crash him out. So this is a tough track. It's unless that person in front of you makes a mistake, it's almost impossible to overtake here. So, and I wasn't gonna put both of us at risk.
Yeah, I saw a little bump in here and there between you two. I saw on that second pit stop, there was definitely some contact, but no harm, no foul, right?
So, on the first stop as well with the I forgot the name of the gentleman that was in second, third place for the first.
Probably.
Stutzman, yeah. We came out of the pits pretty much right on top of one another, and I didn't think that iRacing would let you do that. So I was pretty much like sitting in his cabin all the way up to.
I did see that.
Yeah. And then I came out, and I think that on one of the next turns, or maybe that was considered a contact, and then I think Colin gave me a little nudge with like 3 laps to go, just reminding me that he's there.
Yeah, we saw that. Hey, going back to this like weird pit lane no contact thing. So I tested this one time. Me and a couple of other people, actually, 3 people, we were able to get 3 cars inside of one another, and we drove around the entire track. Uh-oh, we lost Peter. Oops, we lost you there for a second.
That was me, my bad.
I was saying we once tested this where you could drive around as long as you left the pit lane inside one another, like, you know, when you could drive around the entire track without contacting one another. I have a screenshot of it too. I'll have to post it in the chat if I can find it.
Awesome.
Later.
I gotta see that. Yeah.
It was in the IndyCar, but yeah, it was. We were able to get all 3 cars in the same screenshot inside of one another. Anyway, really great run. I was asking Colin. I was like, I'm pretty sure this is your first win here, but I'm trying to remember between you and Peter, because I was pretty sure you had a victory last year in the Oktoberfest season.
Yeah, I did. I love that track. So I won there. Yeah, but you know, the other thing, we had a lot of guys showed up Monday, Tuesday, and we practiced, including Wednesday, of course, as well. So a lot of the our team gas burners were out, and other people that joined us. So I'm just happy to see that we actually had a top 1, 2, 3 finished Team Gasburn. So go Team Gasburn! Very
cool. I mean, I mentioned it during the race. I always mention, like, I see the gas burn on the cars. I'm like, these guys are probably going to race each other very cleanly. I mean, everybody races that way here anyway, but they're probably on the on the voice, and if they do run into each other, there's going to be some
there'll be some talks later. We definitely have to give each other a little bit of space, right? Better finish 4, 5, 6 than not finish at all, because you take yourself out. So we try to race cleanly anywhere, but certainly especially around us. Yeah.
Hey, any other, you mentioned gas burn, but any other shout outs, family, friends, sponsors, thank yous, that kind of thing?
Shout out to my fam who's letting me come down here and practice in the evenings. Appreciate it. Shout out to Team Gasburn and BMW NCC. Love the league, and thank you, Matt, for commentating. Appreciate the stream.
Awesome. Well, we will see you back at Watkins Glen next week. So we'll see you then.
Sounds good. See you then.
See ya.
Bye-bye.
All right, let's get Brian up here. Hey, Brian, this is Matt in the booth. Got a copy?
Hey, Matt, can you hear me?
Yep, got you. Well, tell me about your race. Do you think it's luck or or was it talent this week that got you on the podium?
It's not speed talent. I wasn't the fastest out there, but I kept my incidents or mistakes to a minimum, and it paid off.
Yeah, very good run. I was watching you lurking back there. You had like Aspen back there. I think Dean was there as well.
Dean was really close.
Go ahead.
So Dean was really close the entire race there, right behind me.
Well, tell me, so one thing I also want to say, and I mentioned during the broadcast, hey, you finished 10th in the Formula Indy series as well, over on the oval, not something you do too much. Between those, the Indy cars on the oval and Brands Hatch and the GT3, which do you prefer?
Let me think about that. No, absolutely no questions, Brands Hatch and a GT car. I mean, one of this track has such great flow, and oval. I just don't know it, I guess, and that was again driving in circles, and I definitely appreciate the draft and the strategy there, but I just don't know that strategy. So,
either way,
similar strategy. I hung in. I didn't make too many incidents, and I managed P10. So, kind of similar to tonight.
Well, it was a very good race, and you the main thing is you end up finishing. But to hear tonight, you're on the podium. You did do what you had to do. Like you said, you kept it on track. It was really interesting when all of you pit at the same time. And there was definitely some contact ahead of you. I would imagine. I mean, you're kind of teammates, but with the other gas burn guys, it's not exactly a team in this league or anything like that. But you guys all run together a lot, so there's mutual respect between everybody. But it was good to see you guys go 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, I know. I think it's a first for Team Gasburn. So, yeah, shout out to the whole team. And we almost had Dean up there 1, 2, 3, 4.
That would have been something.
Couldn't hold off Steve, yeah.
Yeah, Steve, I think, did any confirmation on Steve? It was a speeding penalty, I imagine, right?
Yeah, we didn't get to hear that yet from him,
okay.
So I look forward to learning when I get back with the group.
Based on his timing, I have to think it's exactly a speeding penalty because he has. Yeah. I see 54.5 in the pit lane, and that a 40-second 40-second penalty would be, a 14.5-second pit stop or so would be your usual fuel pit stop. So, hey, any final shout-out sponsors? Thank you, friends, family, that kind of thing?
Yeah, well, all the sponsors, of course, SEO Mike, Treakle Insurance, Hagerty, Precision Racing Instruction, and, of course, Beltway Brewery. And also just all the NCC guys in general. I'm heading down to West Virginia next weekend to do a HPD with the NCC chapter, so I finally get to meet a lot of these guys in person.
Is that at Summit Point or something? Or
yeah, it's at Summit Point, yeah.
Very cool. I've never been to Summit Point. I guess maybe what you're saying is, have you not as either?
No, I know. I mean, that's kind of a far drive for me. It's 7.5 hours. So, and I haven't been doing HPDs in many years. So, it's exciting for many reasons. Get back on the track and to meet some of the friends I've made through this league that are many hundreds of miles away.
I love Summit Point though. Like, I had never heard of it until iRacing came out, and it was one of the tracks that they had, and I think it's one of the best tracks. Like, it's a club circuit, and it has all the features of a club circuit, but it really is a great track to run, and it has like all the things you need in kind of a smaller a track that it is a little narrow in points, but
no, you're right there. It's got a lot of technical corners. They're all different, and of course I know this from iRacing, right? I've never been there, so that's gonna be kind of cool to see how it compares in real life.
Well, they have the Jefferson thing as well. I don't know if they actually run that or what, and then they have something called Shenandoah Circuit, that isn't in iRacing, but I always hear about. It's like a longer course, from what I understand.
Yep.
Well, tell me what you think when you go, and have a good time.
Thanks.
All right. Well, we'll see you back here. Are you going to be back here for Watkins, though, right?
I'll be back. Yep.
Okay, sounds good. We'll see you then.
All right. See you.
Yep. Well, I think we're going to have to interview Scott here. Hey, Scott, this is Matt in the booth. Got a copy?
Hey, copy. Hey, Matt.
Well,
what's going on?
I know we interviewed you last week, but what did you start?
Dude.
Like 13th, and you finished second?
Yes, I did. This was my best performance so far.
There you go. That's why we're interviewing you. I was looking at it. It's like,
thank you.
I kind of wanted to interview Sten, but because he had this beer that they're running a special on for Oktoberfest. But unfortunately for him, you got the
I know. He was doing well, but then he hit that blade of grass on the side, and that was it for him. And it was really close because toward the end we're like, oh man, do we need to stop for another pit stop? And pretty much everyone did except Steve. So I don't know how he does it, but he calculates all the fuel and figures it out. But most of us are like, yeah, we got to go in for 4-minute driving time. So. But it was a tough race.
Yeah, tell me about, is there anything else you want to say about your race? It's just survival and keeping it on the track.
I think with the new rules and everything, the first lap, no incident. Everyone kept it really clean, even though we're, very close to each other. But otherwise, this track, we knew that it was going to be very tough to pass. And you just have to drive your line until somebody make a mistake. So, and that happened to me a few times in front of me. And, I got by, and field strategy was a key. Perry was saying that an undercut was a big boost for him. He was like 10th place, then he jumped like 2 spots toward the end. So things like that. I mean, this was really intense, and kudos to the top 3 guys who were finishing top 10 before, but this was a lot of fun. And of course, I debut a new car color today, and
I did see that. Tell us about that.
It looks really good. I'm watching the replay right now, and that looks So I was this was fall season. I was like, it's October, it's coming, Halloween. I need something, right? I need some sort of theme. So I was going back and forth between Halloween, like orange and black theme, and pumpkin and stuff like that. Then then I saw the new Ghostbuster trailer coming out, and I was like, oh, that's one of my favorite movies all time. So, and I pitched that idea to Perry, and Perry just took it to a whole new level. And I was like, here's a picture of Ecto 1, and go for it. And I was like, I definitely want the New York license plate with the Ecto M on it.
I was just gonna ask if you had that on there.
Yeah, I definitely had that, and he just went nuts. I mean, he did an awesome job. And I asked him for the M stripe on the side, M color scheme rather than the red stripe, and it turned out really well. So big thanks to him. And and the car was feeling really, really good. I was driving Z4 Tuesday night, and it was okay. And I realized that everyone else was going to drive better setup. So I was like, all right, I want to be competitive. So I switched to the last minute.
But it is the guaranteed interview if you drive that Z4, I think.
I know. So I thought about it. Then I'm like, that's 2 weeks in a row. So I didn't want to do that. But then I drove well today. So. But it's been a very intense so far. A lot of newcomers, and the guys are driving really well. I mean, I don't know if you saw the qualifying times, but neck to neck, top 12 now. So very tough.
Cool. Well, hey, any final shout outs, thank yous, friends, family, that sponsors, of course, we have in the series.
All of our sponsors, of course, and Mike SEO, PRI, Chris Hill. I mean, he hasn't been here for a few races. Beltway, and of course Darren and Hagerty, as well as NCC, and all the guys that come out every week. Big thanks to them and all the friends and family watching us. Appreciate it. Please do come on out. Never late to join the league. I mean, this is a very friendly, well organized. It's all about learning the racecraft and having fun. So it's never late to join the league here. To come out and have some fun with us.
Very cool, and I really like the fuel strategy this particular season. I was not expecting the two-stopper.
Yeah,
so
none of us were.
Yeah.
And I think it's going to happen quite often throughout the season.
That's perfect.
Yeah, it's perfect. Yeah, it's a big curveball, and it's a last-minute thing. You're going to have to think hard.
I was thinking it probably has something to do, at least here, with the elevation change. There's a lot of elevation here. And there is at Watkins as well, so that could be a two-stopper too. We'll see.
That's definitely a two-stopper. I mean, Summit Point, Maine, we did a two stops. I mean, that was out of nowhere. Okay. Yeah. And, it's a lot of, gas on and off. Same thing here, right? You're going up and down. You're on the gas, off the gas.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I would think Watkins will be as well then, because it's a lot of gas.
Yes, so. That's going to be a... Yeah, I'll be at Watkins Glen in person myself that weekend, so I will not be there, but, these guys will have fun.
Sounds cool. Well, you have a good time, and we'll see you back when you're back then.
Yeah, we'll do. Right. All right. Thanks,
Matt. Scott.
All right, thank you.
Yep.
Bye.
All right, well, that is it for us tonight. Let's see if we can get the full final results up here. Colin Kurtanek taking the win. Peter Lanik, P2, Brian Kennedy, P3, Steve Ficacci, P4. He had that error. I think it was a speeding penalty. And he's got Dean Tulane, P5, Aspen Belvin, P6, Scott Kim, Perry Duncan, Stan Cellier, Yakov Bielik. He had that issue with Darren there. And then Stephen Tenney, Peter Yerkes, Jesse Brandon, Darren Treakle having a tough race. Robert Benson. And finishing off is Donald Manning, Andrew Stutzman. And that will take us out. Thanks to SEO Mike. We've talked about them a bunch, as well as Beltway Brewing Company. Of course, let me mention one last time. It is called the Fest. It's a Marzenberger lager. It's available at the Beltway Brewing Company location in Sterling, Virginia. If we can get that up there. And that's an Oktoberfest special, available limited a time. It's available in the tap room on draft. That's really what you want to get it. You want to get it on draft. And then, of course, if you need to take it home, you get it in the cans, and that's limited time Oktoberfest. I almost want to say Oktoberfest like our league is, but everybody take care. Thanks to Beltway Brewing Company, SEO Mike, PRI, and Darren Treakle Insurance, and Hagerty Insurance associated with them. Have a good night. We'll see you back next week, same time, same place, for Watkins Glen.